Hi ladies, I'm here today to do a little project with you. Actually, this is probably going to end up being maybe, for sure 2 parts, maybe 3. I'm going to be working on today on a tea kettle. I have some other things that are going to work into this that you'll see as we get further into the video. So what I've done up until this point is I had a teapot that was, at one point, it was copper, as you can see. And all I did was put gesso over this to make it white, because it's going to be shabby, of course. And I have a crystal that I got, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I got a few of these at a flea market. Um, and what I've done is just loop this onto a piece of wire that I put through the spout and inside of the teapot. The goal in doing this is to have this look like it is pouring water. Oops. And I wanted to have something that would, I didn't want to just glue this on here because, as it gets moved about, let's see, I hope. As it gets moved about, it could get knocked off. So I put that in there, put a little loop, put this down in here. I've also cut a styrofoam cylinder in half. It was like this. And just made it, and putting the rounded side on the bottom along with some glue. Got my glue gun here. And I'm trying out that roll that everybody was talking about. So what I'm going to do is just put some glue inside the teapot. Oh, I know, the handle moves. Duh. There was a blind moment for you. Yeah, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. Mercy, I probably should have engaged my brain before I engaged the camera. Evidently, I'm not doing too well in that department. So I'm just fitting that in the bottom. Now I do have another one that I'm going to be putting on top of this, but right now I'm just getting this first layer in here because I'm doing this in, rather than putting all these layers together, I'm doing this so that I can attach, woo, that would have hurt. I can attach that layer from my little water drip right into the styrofoam. So I'm going to get this where I want it. Like that. And then I am just inserting the wire into the styrofoam. Oops. Like that. Now, I am going to use some of the Aleene's tacky glue because I found that using the hot glue on styrofoam doesn't always work all that well because it melts it. So I'm going to use this. This is the clear gel tacky glue that I picked up. I like to use this from time to time on, projects, and I have found in the past that this does work pretty well for styrofoam. It doesn't melt it, and it just kind of leaves it, nice and secure. I'm also going to just put a dab right here to keep my little crystal in place, like that. I'll probably have to keep adjusting that, but I know what I'll do for now. I'll just add a tiny bit of hot glue right here on the top, just to hold it while it finishes drying. There we go. All right, now I have another round disc, styrofoam disc, that I'm going to be putting in the top here. And that wire that is holding the styrofoam that's holding the wire on the bottom, I'm just going to glue this on top, and I'll just sandwich it in between there along with the glue. So let me take this off. My poor desk. I have made such a shambles out of this desk. I have got to get the top refinished and put some glass on it, which is what I intended to do. But you know, when we want to create, we just want to create right now. So I am pushing this as far down as I can get it. And in case you have not yet figured out, this is not going to be a pin cushion. This is going to be a flower vase of sorts, kind of, sort of. Just something a little bit different. Pretty. This is something that when you see the rest of the items that are going to go with it, you'll kind of understand the reason for this and for some of the other things I'm doing. So, now that we have that part done, I have a doily that I've had for quite some time. Not even sure where I got it. I'm trying to figure out, I think this is the wrong side. So, I am just going to put some glue on the bottom of the tea kettle and set this right in the middle like that. Now what I'm going to do is to glue this onto the sides of the tea kettle. And if this is like wonky, a little uneven, which it looks to me like it is, I can always just take a knife and trim it off so that it's level. So that will be my game plan. Alright, so what I'm going to do is simply take, I'm going to have a play with this for a second, because I was playing with this earlier and kind of, yeah, let me do it this way so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to glue, I'm going to try this because I need a Fabri-Tac. Oops, I made a mess. I made a mess. For me, the first time. I'm just going to try the Fabri-Tac. You know, I'm experimenting here, and I'm kind of gathering and pulling as I go. And I want to try and do this like on 4 points on here, and then just gather the fullness up in between those 4 points, if that makes any sense at all. I think this might just work. It seems like it's going to. We'll find out soon enough, won't we? So I've got these two sides. Now I'm going to do the back. Where it comes up the handle. I'm going to do the spout. And I have several layers of laces I'm going to be putting in here as well. So this, I'm going to have to kind of come up around the spout. So I'm just going to add some glue here and there. And bring this up around the spout like this. And kind of tuck it around there. And then we'll pull this up around here. The sound that you hear in the background, if you can hear it, you probably can, is my fan. It's like 93 here today, and without the fan, I would be gasping like a fish out of water. So I do apologize, but you need it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just slowly going around here and I'm working in the gathers. So I wanted to use this fabric chat rather than hot glue because this gives me a little more workable time. As you can see, this is coming up over the top of the side, or the top, I should say, the top of the kettle. I don't know if this kettle had a top or not. Even if it did, I wouldn't be using it because I had this other idea in mind. And right now, I am just slathering some of this fabric chat in here. I turn this around so that you can see what I'm doing. And just pulling, because this is kind of got little, this doily had little points that kind of lended itself to ruffling. And we know that when you have shabby, you have to have ruffles. So I'll probably have to go back maybe with, some hot glue or something, or more fabric tack, and just kind of, tuck these in here and there and adjust it. But, this is not going to be all that goes on here. You know that. Because it wouldn't be shabby enough with just the doily. So, we're just going to play and play and play and play. It's supposed to get yucky here, of course, over the weekend, holiday weekend, and the clouds are starting to roll in. It's hot, it's hazy, and that's just a good setup for some good old-fashioned thunderstorms, which I happen to love. Would you guys yell at me when I get out of frame, please? Because I get to working and talking, and then I get out of frame, and you're probably yelling at me. You need to yell a little bit louder, because... So yeah, we're supposed to get some thunderstorms, which is okay with me because I'm one of those strange people. Maybe you're like that. Maybe it's not as strange as I think it is, but I love thunderstorms. And I would love to be a storm chaser. There's just such majesty in these storms. The raw power and the energy that they create, and the cloud formations. Even the formations of a tornado, I find just almost mystical somehow. I mean, it's just, it's God's plan. It's His design. It's, and I've heard it called the finger of God. I don't know that that necessarily means anything. It's just kind of an analogy that someone came up with. But I do love a good storm. So whenever, I don't want it, doing like the three little pigs and huffing and puffing until it blows my house down, especially when I live in a mobile home And that is not exactly that you want a place that you want to be in if there is an approaching tornado. So, with that said, I still would love to chase them. I watched lots and lots and lots of programs, my husband and I both, about storm chasers, and um, we watch a lot of programs on the Weather Channel because it's the strangest thing. When I was in school, while I liked science, I didn't really focus on it that much. I thought, yeah, that's kind of interesting, but you're in high school, you just don't pay attention to stuff. And now I find, uh, how much time I wasted that I could have been learning about all this stuff that fascinates me today. You know, as is the way with most teenagers, we don't pay attention when we had it. We don't know how good we've got it when we've got it, and nobody can tell us because we know it all. Truth be known, that's not just a function of teenagers. There's a lot of adults that kind of outgrew that teenage mentality, and I'm sure we all know some. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I've just wrapped that doily around the tea kettle. This was a wooden handle, and I painted that white as well. This was kind of a different type of metal. Um, when I was in my early 20s, I sold a product. It was called Coppercraft at the time. And when I got out of selling it, my mother loved it. So she got quite a few pieces. And this, I believe, was one of the pieces that I had in my initial kit. So it's pretty, well, it's not that old, but it's old enough. Okay. So now I have this gorgeous lace, which can be fun, of course, at creating the details. And what I thought I would do with this one is, this is going to be a little difficult to work on, so let me see if I can maybe, maybe this. I can stick this through there, kind of, that might work, maybe, please work, there we go. No, it's not going to work. Okay, well, it was a good idea, so we'll just kind of muddle our way through it. All right, so at any rate, before I started all of that, I decided that I want this to go on the bottom half of the teapot, okay? Just like so. So I think, no, I'm going to continue to use the Fabri-Tac because I want to make sure that I have time to adjust this if I need to, because move up a little bit. This may have to be, slightly gathered as I'm gluing this on, as this is straight and the surface I'm gluing it on is round. So I want to make sure that these don't go below the bottom of the tea kettle. Okay, so I'm just gluing the top here, the top of the lace. Boy, this is getting really low. I have to go and buy some more. I love this stuff. If you guys haven't tried this Fabri-Tac by Beacon, it's the bomb! Seriously, this is good stuff. You need to try it if you haven't. If you have, you know what I'm talking about, because I like it a lot. So I'm just kind of going around the circle, and I can see that the fullness is starting to pick up here. So probably what I'll do is just go back. We'll see after I get it on. We'll see what it looks like. Because I may like that hanging down like that. I don't know. We'll see. So we have all kinds of seasons upon us. We have the wedding season. We have spring and summer seasons, and all of it is bright and shiny and new and happy. You know, that's the theme. And this project that I'm working on, at least for me, these little fuzzies, makes me feel happy. And who doesn't like to feel happy? I have to confess, I think I had a blonde moment. If you'll notice, um, rather than starting with one end here, yeah, that's what I did. Oh well, you know, things happen all too frequently sometimes, but they happen. Yeah, there's another blonde moment. If somebody keep track of how many I've had in this video, okay, and let me know in the comment box. We can have a blonde moment counter. I wonder if I could add a button for that. I could like put it on my videos. That would be kind of cool. Have a blonde moment counter to see how many I end up with. Okay, I'm gonna do that because I like it like that. I was gonna cut it and just kind of you know, leave this part of the spout open. So I am gonna hopefully find my scissors in this massive mess that I have. What did I do with them? Whoops. Sorry stuff. Okay, where did I put them? Oh, where did my scissors go? Really? I've lost my scissors in this pile of stuff somehow. Wow. Hang on a minute, ladies. Let me see what I did with them. I did not know. I guess they grew legs and walked away, so I'm going to have to use these for right now because I don't know where my other ones are at. Oops. So I'm going to cut this right here in the center. And glue that down. See, I got that little bubble on there again. I don't know what makes it do that. It reminds me of the E6000 bubble. You know, like if you don't put the top back on it right away, you get that big bubble. What causes that? Again, didn't pay attention to science. So let's see. And again, I'm going to cut this right in the middle of this, what I will call the center of this like little medallion. And just glue this across there. Oh, it's really starting to get cloudy out here, guys. The only thing I hope is that if we do get a boomer, thunderstorm, whatever I'll call them, that I don't lose the electricity because then it will be very, very hot in here. Although usually after a thunderstorm, it seems to cool it down a little bit, especially if it's at night once the sun goes down. Okay, so there we have that, and yes, I can see from looking at this that I am going to have to glue the bottom of this down because it just doesn't set right. So I Oh my word, what did I do? I set this upside down and look at the mess. Okay, somebody hit the blonde button. Did it again. Ooh, we're at 1,000 a day, guys. That's all right. Can't laugh at yourself. What can you laugh at? So, I'm just going to. Ugh, that makes a big old mess. I'll worry about cleaning that up later. All right, so I'm going to return to my hot glue gun, Yikes. Which wants to go crazy on me. And I'm just going to start adding bits of glue here and there as I kind of glue these down. But I'm glad I really glued that in there because it would certainly be getting knocked around right about now. I'm talking about that crystal. And I am patiently waiting on May to get in her order of that glue mat with the little, I'm not a frame again, with the little fingers and that little spatula. I am so looking forward to playing with that. I'm kind of saving not only my fingers, but yeah, you know, if you get like a manicure or something, this glue does a number on them. So, as you can see, I'm having to, I hope you can see, I don't know why I'm having so much problem with this. I've got the camera all the way out, and I don't have it in, you know, focused in close, so I don't know why this is looking so close like it is. That's okay. It'll, I'll just have to be more careful because if I make a boo-boo, you can see it better. Now don't worry about this right here. I'm just having to kind of take a tuck because I did it again. I think what I do when I do that is that I'm trying to see, and I've got it pointing so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And so when I start gluing this, I'm trying to see, and I keep inching it closer so that I can see. And I gotta quit doing that. I gotta focus more on the present and what it is that I'm doing. Yes, I do. Ouch, hot. See, if I had that little thing, I can avoid that. So I'm just going to take a little tuck here because we have a little area. So there we have that. There's still little areas that are not entirely glued down, but you know what? Right now, I'm not going to worry about that because the other part of this project involves this and the fact that you won't see the bottom. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so the next trim lace that I've pulled out is this. I am in love with this. Now, I did give this a play a little while ago, and I think what I'm going to have to do is cut these into individual medallions just to, maybe not, but this time I'm going to pay attention, and I'm going to start this at the spout instead of doing what I did last time, for whatever reason that I did that. But I am going to have to cut some of these little loose threads here because I did cut off some individual ones for another project. So, now I'm going to put this I want this, I think, to come up at the top. I want this flower to come up at the top, kind of come over. And yeah, that's the way I want it. So I'm just going to, boy, this little glue roll takes some getting used to. It really does, it does, but I kind of like it. Because once it starts, going, I don't have to worry about getting more glue sticks all that frequently. So I am just, I'm tacking this for right now with the glue gun. And if I need to, I can always come back and see, I'm trying to get that so that, see how it comes up over the top. Because when this is standing, it would be nice. And I'm trying to keep those, the ruffles that I made from, ouch, hot stuff. The ruffles that I made from the doily to not get smashed down at the same time. Give me a second here while I remove some of this flopped up glue from my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Right now I'm just gluing the top of, these are like a 2D flower, and these are so versatile. I've used these on so many things. They really, really, really have. And I have to get some more. Hopefully there will be some more, because let me tell you ladies, this stuff is flying off the shelves, as is a great deal of the trims that, probably most of the ones that May is carrying. None of us, that like on the design team or May herself has even gotten to work with them, because they're like purchased the minute they go in the store. So you lucky ladies who are able to get some of that, you got to show us some projects with them, will you please? Because we didn't get to work with them, and we want to see what y'all did with them. That would be really, really, really cool if you could do that. So you could tag myself or May, or, Creating with Details fan page, with pictures of what you make. And I say this all the time, and I sincerely, honestly, sincerely, really, really, really mean it. We are inspired by you guys. We do this, well, number one, for the love of creating, but two, try to give you guys some ideas and inspiration. But we get inspired by you too. So if you could do that for us, we would greatly appreciate it. We really, really would. I am just in awe, really seriously, at the amount of talent that is out there. You guys, I mean, seriously, no joking, all joking aside, and this is not, blowing sunshine up your alley. We sincerely, there's a lot of talent out there. And I can see what I've got going on here with this flower. I'm kind of wondering if I could trim this a little bit and kind of wrap that around. I think I like that. So let me just try to maneuver this so I can glue and you can see at the same time. So what I'm doing here is just kind of gluing the top first, right here, and then gluing that around there. It's just kind of a, I may have to cut this here and there, I'm not sure, but like right here, I think I'm going to have to cut that off, and we'll use that. We'll glue it on here, we'll just have to do it separately. I really wish I could find my scissors. I don't know where I put them. I don't remember what I did with them last. I really don't. Okay. So, there we have that, and I'm just going to maneuver that flower so that it's kind of in the center here. After, I'm going to cut off these little pieces of just going to kind of figure out how to add this on here like that. Kind of like that, because see how that little, it's like a leaf, goes right around the spout on the tea kettle. How cool is it when stuff like that happens? I mean, I couldn't have planned for that. Well, I probably could have, but who wants to spend that much time trying to think that far through? I don't, but that is really cool how that just sort of worked out. Like that. So then I'm going to glue this down here and here. And I'm going to trim this, so I'm going to glue that right down there. Ouch. I'm going to take this and cut that off. Oh, I need my scissors, seriously. Because I have a spot on the spout. It's kind of bare naked. There's no bare naked in Shabby. And I have some of these little doodads. They're sticking out. So right here, can you see that right there? I need to put some glue there. So I cut that little flower off, and I'm just going to glue that. I have to find the right and wrong side because it's really hard. I'm just going to glue that little flower right on the edge over top of that spot, and then just tap this flower down. And I want that to stand up a little bit. See how that stands up a little bit? I like that. Don't ask me why, I just do. I like it. So I am going to go around and glue these down. And I have some ideas too. I also have this, well, let's do that first. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's what happens when I get excited. You know, you want, oh, don't forget this, don't forget to do that. Y'all do that? Y'all get excited like that, and then you end up thinking, you big dummy, you were going to do this and this too, and you know, got so excited, did something else and totally forgot about it, which is okay as long as it works out and you're happy with it. There's no right or wrong in crafting. It's all in what you feel good with. And I don't feel good with that. Those little rubber fingers right about now. Quit whining, Robin. You'll get it when you get it. Yeah. So I wonder if you guys have big plans for the Memorial Day weekend. I do not, outside of course, barbecuing, weather allowing. You know, with family, friends, just, you know, kind of a little get together. And of course, remembering what the day is about, you know, that we remember those who have gone before us, those who have sacrificed so much to give us the freedoms that we have today, those who have sacrificed everything, and not only the ones who actually they're sacrificing their lives for our freedoms, but the families of those brave souls who did that for us because they sacrificed too. So we just have to remember the day isn't just about you know, partying and having a good time, eating our fill, and you know, all those things. It's also about sacrifice and bravery, um, thankfulness for those who have sacrificed so much for all of us. It is so humbling to me. I have a lot of family members who, thankfully, I don't have any that are serving right now, but they were. And the moments that they are gone is just pure, absolute terror, fear beyond measure um, about what they're going through and what they go through when they come home. People take for granted what they have and the freedoms that they have and the sacrifices that these men and women make. Um, Many come home minus limbs, eyes disfigured, and many come home with mental issues that none of us could even begin to comprehend. They suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, which is not a joke, and it is very, 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 very real. So when you think about all the freedoms that you have, add those things that our service people have to endure um, to your list of grateful thankfulness, because none of us can even begin to imagine what they have and will continue to endure for the rest of their lives. The things that they've seen, the things that they've had to do, they go against their very grain, the very thing that we as a society have told them. You should not kill. You should not do this. You should not do that. They have to do to survive and to protect us, to protect their families, their loved ones, their friends, their country. And, we need to be more appreciative and more mindful of that, because, my God, where would we be? Where would we be today if not for them? So try to remember that this weekend as you're making your plans and you're going through your day. If you know a veteran, thank them. Give them a hug. Invite them to your barbecue. Just do something to show them how very much they are appreciated and loved. And before I start bawling, I'm going to go back to what I'm doing here. I had this applique. This is a part of an applique. I will put a link in the description box below to everything that I am using, and I'm going to put it on this side. There's a reason for that, which I'm not going to share just yet, but I will. Time will share. The time will come when you'll find out why. So I'm just going to glue this in place here. And this is a hand embroidered, or not hand embroidered, but embroidered on this mesh that is just, I love, love, love these appliques that Pretty With Details has. And I must order some more, because if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think that I am, I think this is my last applique. I can't be without appliques. I do have a wedding dress that May from Creative Details sent me. So I do have some wedding appliques that I can turn to in a pinch. But the problem with the wedding appliques, while they're gorgeous and while I appreciate very much having them, is that when you have a wedding dress, it's really just like one theme. You know what I mean? So the appliques are all pretty much the same. Where when you order the different appliques that Creating with Details has, you get a variety, which gives you more design elements that you can work with. So there is that. Love it. Okay, now we have to do something with this handle. You probably wouldn't have to, but I was playing with a couple of different things. I have some of this, which is the gimp trim that Creating with Details carries that, I could wrap around here. I also have some of this trim, which I didn't check to see if there's any still in stock, and I think there is because it's fairly new. This is a gimp with sequins on it, which I think is kind of, yeah, I'm going to use that one because it just looks more shabby. And this is all about the shabby. So we'll save that for something else. So what I'm going to do is just trim this and start this underneath side of this. And then just sort of wrap it around and glue it every now and then as I go. It doesn't have to be, tightly glued. And you don't want to leave it, pull this so tight that you're stretching it, but, just enough to give it a good coverage. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do on this metal part. We'll have to wait and see. And as this is going to be a 2, possibly 3-part series on this, I'm going to call it Tea Time or something of that nature. I'll figure out a name. We may add to this later on too as we go into the other elements that I'm going to be using and creating along with this. So you don't necessarily have to see to every detail on this at the same time. See how pretty that is? I like it a lot. So I'm just going to cut this right here and add a little bit of glue because, again, this is a gimp and there are threads, and I don't want that to be coming loose and unraveling the strings. So now I'm just going to kind of tip this over a little bit there to seal those ends too. So, oops, see? Okay, so there we have the handle, the side, the spout. I love the spout. I love it when a plane comes together, and even just a part of a plane comes together. So now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to add some flowers. I do have some pieces of lace that I had in my stash that I'm just going to kind of randomly glue in here. Well, maybe I did. I don't know. Probably did. Yeah, there's some. So, and I don't care if these are uneven or ragged or whatever, because that just lends to the shabbiness of the project. And these are just pieces that I have cut off from another project. So I am just going to look these up because I only need to add a dab of glue for these because they're so thin. You don't need to have complete coverage because, like I said, I am going to be putting some flowers down here. I just wanted to add some, I don't know, element of texture, which lace and, the uneven edges just kind of does that. See how it just kind of sticks out there and just really softens up the green. I don't think that there's going to be much of the green showing, but just on the outside chance that there is, Oops. And another trim there that I want to use, but not just yet. So, I have pulled out some flowers that I had in my stash. And I'm not going to make this, real. I think I'm going to say I'm not going to, because I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Here's some more fibers and such that I can add to this. Yeah. I just like that look. I don't know why. It just makes it seem more shabby to me. Okay. So I have pulled out some flowers. Let me find my cutters. I'm just gonna just gonna play with this. I have some fabric ones. I have some of these paper ones. I have a couple that I made. Just hodgepodge. I do have. I am bringing in, I think, a little element of pink. As you can see, I do have some of these. It's just a hint of pink, just a tiny little bit. And as this is a work in progress, I probably should leave a couple of these on here just in case I need some height. So, taking them all off. So I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of start placing. Let me turn that so you can see. Placing these in different spots, and I'm not gluing this down yet because I want to make sure that where I have them placed is where I want them. I need to love these. Unfortunately, I only have like 3 or 4 of these, so I'm going to place them carefully just because I don't have a lot of them. So, whoops, I'm going to cut that off. I'm glad that I saved these because you just never know when you're going to need, additional flowers. And yeah, these are a little wrinkly, but again, sometimes shabby is wrinkly. So, I'm going to put that there. And maybe, I think I'll try it here. Just put one in the center. Now I have some of these, which, I already put one in right here. And I also have some white ones. I have this beautiful chiffon one, which I believe is still available. Creating details. I have one of these rolled roses that I made that I might just, tuck in there. Oh, let's see, what else do I have? I have some of the smaller rosebuds, which have just a touch of pink. I have some of these itty bitty rosebuds, and some more of these little tiny pink and white flowers. Some more of these tiny, I have these white flowers. I just have a bunch, and I also have these, which I know are still available at Creative Details. So I need flowers because I knew I wanted to use them in here. Oh dear, excuse me, I'm getting me a drink. This one flower is what made me start thinking about bringing in a little bit of pink. So I'm going to put this right there. And like I said, I have not glued anything down. I'm just playing. That one might be a bit big. So let's try a few of these, and I'm not cutting them off all the way because, again, you might need these stems. Oops. Oh, I need to turn this around so you can see what I'm doing. the other rolled rose over here in the back, and this one here. I do have this one, which even though it's kind of an off-white, it's still an ivory color maybe? I think might just work because this has kind of an off-white look to it. And I like that mixture of colors. So what do you think? Yeah, I think that's gonna look pretty. Don't you guys think that's gonna look good? Say yes. Okay, I heard you. I heard you say yes, so we're gonna go for it. And I have some of these. Just, kind of grabbed a variety of different kinds and sizes of flowers that I'm just kind of tucking in here in various areas. And some of them are longer, which, of course, when you're thinking of flowers, some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. So we want to try and have some varying lengths. And then I want to use some of these. Oh, look, I have these too. I'm doing it again. Did you notice I'm doing it again? Ooh, ooh, look, there's a shiny thing. Yeah, I do that a lot. I think maybe I might have a little ADD. It's possible. Would explain a lot. Like, how many of you guys, okay, you can leave a comment in the comment section below if you'd like. How many of you guys, when you start cleaning house, okay, we're picking up the house before we start the real cleaning. That's how I do it. Making sure everything's, kind of put away and what have you, so that we can just get to the cleaning. How many of you will take something that, you're going to put away in another room, and your intention is to go back and, continue cleaning what you were cleaning before, and instead find yourself cleaning up in the room that you just went into? Totally getting sidetracked about what you were just doing. Grace, yeah, that's me. I'll go, like to put clothes away, for instance. Just something that simple. You do the laundry, you go to put the clothes away. And what do? I end up, doing something else in those rooms, or that room. Now it's just one room, just my husband and I. But I can remember with the kids, I was really bad about it then. Oh, just terrible about getting so sidetracked. Like I go into the kids' room, and of course their method of cleaning was never what I had envisioned for the cleaning that was needing to be done. So I would have to fix it. All right, so I just want to show you while I ramble. And I'm just kind of playing with the placement here. And I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing this. And you know what? I am loving that, so I'm not even messing with that one. I am just gluing that right there. Sometimes you just know what you know, you know? Just goes there. Just goes there. Look at how pretty. Isn't that pretty? Oops, one of my flowers fell out. So I know that I want that there, so I'm just going to add a little dabble, do ya? Because I know I want a bigger one in the center. And just glue that down. And then I want this to kind of be up underneath there, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue here and there. And just kind of situate these the way I think I want them. Like that. Okay. See what I just did? Let me try to bring this in just a tad bit. Maybe that's better. Yeah, that is a little bit better. Sorry, guys. I keep messing with my camera angles, and I probably should just stop it. Okay, so no, that doesn't want to stay in there. I'm going to glue this one too. include the big ones because I like their placement. What did I do? And even some of these smaller ones I'm going to remove. So even though you can still see some of the green, that's okay because I'm not done poking yet. I'm just wanting to secure a few of these because as I poke more in, these want to pull out. So just adding a little bit here and there. Okay. And there I go, off the side. Oh my word, what is wrong with me? I'm telling you. Excuse me while I take a drink. I had no intention of this being so long. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and speed it up here. And actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? Rather than have you sitting here watching me gluing these flowers in and changing my mind and babbling like a brook, I am going to call this video finished. I will have pictures at the end of what I've done and how I finished it up. And stay tuned for part 2. And there may be 3 parts to this. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. But at any rate, ladies, I want to thank you for joining me because we have hit the 1 hour mark, and I know a lot of people don't like to sit through long videos. And if you don't, I'm sorry. You can just, kind of skip through this and get to the end because a lot of it's just babble. So, at any rate, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe if you haven't, and be kind to each other. God bless you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.